Well, global markets were a mix on Thursday as the US economy came out with its growth numbers. The US economy grew around 2% in quarter 3, which is quarter ended September, versus the expected 2.8%. Now, this is the first or the slowest amount of growth that the US economy has seen on a quarter over the course of an entire quarter since the recession receded in 2020. All three indices closed higher though. All are in the green when you look at it month to date as well as week to date. And the Dow was up around 0.2% in trade yesterday and has gained 5.6% across the course of October. The S&P 500 too gained almost 1%, up around 6.7% over October, and the Nasdaq is up almost 1.5% on Thursday and has gained almost 7% month to date in October. So really good numbers there for all three US indices. Europe, meanwhile, the ECB kept interest rates as well as the monetary policy stance unchanged. European markets were muted in trade yesterday with the DAX and the FTSE closing flat. The DAX was down around 6 basis points. The FTSE was down around 5 basis points in trade. But the CAC 40 was up 0.75% and the stock 600 was up around 0.25% in trade yesterday. Moving on to Asia, the Bank of Japan kept monetary policy unchanged as well, just like the ECB, but cut its real GDP growth and consumer inflation forecast for fiscal year 21. All Asian indices closed lower yesterday, including, of course, the Indian indices down over 1% each. The Nikkei was down 1%, the Shanghai over 1%. Among major indices, the Kospi was also down around 0.5% in trade yesterday. The Nikkei is down a further 0.75% in early trade today. The Shanghai is absolutely flat as we speak, and the ASX 200 and Kospi are marginally lower. The SGX Nifty closed over 2% lower in trade yesterday and is down a further 1/3% in early trade today. Commodities are looking to level off. The London Metal Index was up around 1.5% yesterday after almost down 3+% on Wednesday. The copper prices were up over 1%. LMEX aluminium was up over 2%, but iron ore fell by around 1.5%. Oil prices have fallen. US crude stocks have come better than anticipated, and of course there was the announcement with Iran in talks over a deal which was announced yesterday. The deal is or the talks are expected to start in November. Oil prices fell sharply down to around $82.6 a barrel. Mind you, it was up over $84 a barrel earlier this week, and Brent has also come down a couple of dollars to around $84 a barrel. Gold has risen on the back of a dollar falling, and gold is at around $1,800 an ounce in early trade today. The dollar index was down around 0.5% in trade yesterday, absolutely flat in trade today. The US 10-year treasury yields continue to rise despite disappointing growth. The 10-year yield is now at 1.563%, and Bitcoin has gained 5%, which it had lost, by the way, in trade on Wednesday or on early Thursday, and has breached the US dollar 61,000 mark. That's a wrap on how global markets are looking on this Friday morning. Let's see how the week ends for all of the global indices.